Welcome back to the good old Southern IA, guys, and an absolutely gorgeous morning. It was a beautiful 48 degrees this morning. You had to get the old sweatshirt out, fire it up for the first time. Actually, second time this year. I wore it yesterday morning too, I guess. Well, let me tell you what, driving these single cab trucks, I don't know if it's true on the newer ones. I guess I've never driven a newer single cab pickup truck. But this old gal right here, best thing to drive in the winter, because you get into it, 3 minutes later, your face is cooked medium rare. I mean, man, you get toasty in those things. Gotta like it, gotta like it. Yesterday, after chatting with Dad, we actually had one of our record days for our crew on picking corn. It's not been our biggest record day, actually, but for us, it was our biggest record day. Does that make sense? Like, with other people, we've done more bushels in a day, but just with Andrew, Dad, and I, this was our biggest day, and I'm going to attribute a lot of that to that grain cart, because that grain cart, again, did not let that combine sit, because it had the ability to keep the grain away from it. The corn's cooking. We'll go see if the burner's on. Oh yeah, we cooking with propane and propane accessories. Ben, why are you driving the Lucky truck instead of your dually? The bottom part of my tire went bad. Must have found something, I mean, who knows. I'm actually considering biting the bullet and buying this gal a whole new set of rubbers. I think I got like 20-something thousand miles out of those tires, and going into winter, I think I'm probably gonna do it. And say what you want, these were these Thunder Amazon tire buys that I put on this truck, and 20,000-ish miles it's got on it now. I've never had a flat, never had anything go wrong with those tires. I think they wore out a little bit quicker, but it is also a dually and gets driven all the time hauling heavy loads, so I don't really expect aggressive tires to hold up that well. So good enough for me. I'm going to reorder that same set of tires. You got your middle on. So I'm actually jumping ahead a day on you guys here. We harvested corn yesterday, believe it or not. Everything went smoothly, therefore I just sat in the combine all day. It doesn't really make the best footage for you guys, but we did a live stream last night, Molly and I. Rained for us an inch on Tuesday, and that cart was just floating over the ground. Compared with the cart paired with the quad track, it was just floating. So there was like no compaction, it just went right over the ground.
Pretty sure if you could marry that cart instead of me, you would.
They keep changing those laws all the time, honey.
Oh, do they?
Got it. Thanks for joining in with us if you guys did. And if you stayed all the way to the end, you saw me fill this sucker up as full as possible. I've already hauled a load of corn into town this morning, Andrew I passed on the way back out of town. My dad should be on his way to take this load of corn. Then Andrew will be back. And then the engineers are showing up from Kinze. Well, they left that on last night. Hopefully that didn't kill my battery. Left that on too. You gonna start from Miguel? So we have 77,140 pounds on. Loaded 1377. Come on. You gonna move for me this morning? Oh, sorry, gal. We got some weight on this sucker. Now we wait for it to fuel. The engineers left, they came down, they were really looking at the auger here, especially the auger spout. I mean, just look at that thing. Would you look at that thing? Since this is an enhancement for the 2022 carts here, back to this style of spout, or it's actually a redesigned spout, but what they've done is back to tilting in line with the trailer. Since we've been using it, we've had really good control of the grain flow. And they asked me, how do I run the grain cart? I said, oh, well, how wide open do I open the grain cart up? I said all the way gate open at 6,000 RPMs. I let her lug out some grain. With that, they wanted to make sure that they were not choking down here in the new design spout. They didn't think they were, but they wanted to confirm it. We were running 22% corn through there. They were just making sure that was working, and making sure this clutch right here that actually protects the drivetrain of the tractor was holding up, was not kicking out under that type of load. It wasn't. And then the last thing that they came and looked at is the dump doors. We have not used the dump doors yet. We will use the dump doors at some point, maybe when we're switching between corn and soybeans. For us, we don't grow seed beans, and this would be really handy for someone that's growing seed beans, or well, you pick ear corn, but seed beans where you have to clean out everything. We're just wanting to make sure that this door stays sealed really well. It has no leaks or anything like that. Stays sealed. What they were kind of wondering though is if I'd opened it and closed it or anything like that, and I hadn't done that yet, but we will. I did talk about how pairing this tractor and that cart was actually a really good match, having this amount of weight in front of that cart. The cart doesn't affect the tractor basically anything at all. With the power, you can really open up the gates, sling the grain. This is really a pretty good combination in between these two. I don't think you need this big of a horse on it, but it sure does make it kind of nice. But other than that, we've pretty much had raving reviews of the 1421 Kinze Harvest Commander as we continue onward. Rain cloud in the sky, and it's coming right towards me. It's actually raining on me right now. What the heck? Yeah, I've got to stop. My windows are down on my truck. And like my own personal little thunderstorm shows up. Oh my gosh, my truck seats are wet. What's this nonsense? I'm really not sure what to do here. So this is the corn that we're shelling here today. This summer I did a video about how a hailstorm came through, got like 350 acres of our corn. And we talked, I guess I talked a little bit about hail insurance and if you should have hail insurance. And I said, well, I've got hail or corn hailed on at this stage and it didn't ever pay. Well, we are now in corn where this was really good looking corn, and I feel that I can confidently say how much yield percentage wise we've taken off of this field versus other corn that we've harvested. So we obviously still have ears. Duh, we wouldn't be out here picking if we didn't have ears. But the bottom leaves of these plants are just shredded. And then if you look at this too, I'm 6'2" ish. This corn's maybe 7 foot tall corn. Maybe 7 foot tall corn. It is short corn. Right here on this flat, I would say it's probably 185 bushel corn. You get in other places, it gets down there. But this, in comparison to other corn that we've shelled so far this year that has not been hailed on, I can say that we've probably took off 10% on the good ground and 20 to 25% of the yield on the weaker ground, because it seems like the better ground, it recovered a little bit better, the plants grew still. The weaker ground, what I'm trying to say, the weaker ground, the plants are barely even chest tall and yield's not there. It's 20%, 25% might even be like a low end ball of that one. So to all the crop experts out there that just say, oh, hail on your corn when it's short doesn't set it back, so we're not going to do anything if you take hail insurance, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. When you're growing corn, how you get good yielding corn is you make sure that corn plant never has a good day. And if you shred its leaves off with hail and give it a windstorm, that isn't a good day. So you lose yield, and that is directly like related to that hailstorm. I would say that, you know, on 200 bushel corn, it probably would have been 240 bushel corn or better by other corn that we're harvesting this year. On the weaker ground, yeah, 20%. 20% is what I'd say went off. And if you want to put a value on that, say we took 35, 40 bushels off. 40 bushels, we're close to $5 cash price right now. You're talking $200 an acre. $200 an acre. Multiply that by the 300 and some odd acres of corn that got hailed on for us, and you've got money. However, with that being said, with the drought stress that this corn went through, the hailstorm that it went through, I'm still happy with it, you know? I mean, it should be a lot worse than what it is, if that makes sense. I'm asking you guys, if you've had hail insurance and had corn get hailed on at a young stage like we did this year, or I've done in the past, have you guys ever been paid on a claim, or did the adjusters basically say nothing's happened to your corn, your corn's going to be just fine? Which, again, I don't agree with that. If so, what companies do you guys go with? Maybe I'm with the wrong company is what I'm thinking, possibly, because in my mind, if it happened this year, 20, like we talked about, 20% loss on yield easily. If we had hail insurance, there should have been a payment on it. And that makes me think, when I had hail insurance, previously, which deterred me from the hail insurance the past 2 years, that there should have been a payment on it. Was I swindled? I don't know. Let me know if you guys have hail insurance stories that you can share with me. Okay, the screen's gonna be flashy on you guys. I didn't set it to non-logging, but right now we're actually running TerraStar X for our guidance correction. It's been working. I mean, I tried it there for a little while with the combine. As you guys saw in the video, we had an issue with our ground disconnect going on, and I think that was giving me intermittent power source issues with the on-track system. And when it does that, if you lose power to your on-track or communication with your on-track, it'll turn off your satellite so your combine can't steer into like a fence or something like that. I assume that's why they do it. But that will also stop my logging. And that issue was I wanted to quit, but we're back to using it again. It's steering itself and doing a good job. We gotta show them cab sprinkles, bud. So you see this? That right down there? Now it's not technically cab corn because it didn't end up on the cab. But if you get cab sprinkles, you're getting dang close to cab corn. She full. She full. Next. Don't go all modified on me. Hey. Hey. Does that make you a corn dog? Tail wags. Corn dog. Kind of wish the engineers were back. I had a cart driver. Lately, we've actually been able to have a combine operator, a cart operator, and then one guy is running 2 trucks if we're going to the bins. That works timing-wise, but since we're actually taking this corn to town, they can't really, one guy can't keep up with this, so like, no cart operator today. I would have someone operating the cart, but there's only 3 of us working, so you gotta pick and choose. Here we go, last 12. We're gonna be hopping the road here. Gotta lose the head, can't make it from one field to the other. That's for one of them folding heads being pretty nice, right? And most likely we'll be getting pretty close to done because Andrew's gonna have to take off with that Peterbilt to make it to Corden, get it offloaded. Dad should be back. I've got a load on the Kinze for him. If he makes it back in time and he can swing it, and then if that all happens, we can pick about 3,000 more bushels tonight and quit for the day. We're done with this field.
Pretty close. Oh,
no,
Lord.
no, no, no.
No,
We
no,
ain't
no,
done
no, no,
yet.
no, no, no.
We have been challenged here,
Ugh.
Molly.
Good trick.
We are challenged.
Oh. This
I've
makes
got
me
probably 50
so
bushels
nervous.
left.
What, are
I
we
got
like ramping it
oh
up
my
this
gosh,
hill?
look at all that room on this side.
Oh,
You
Lord.
can park a pickup on this side. Look at this. Talk about easy peasy. We're gonna get this in here. Actually, we probably won't.
You're real confident.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, baby. Hey.
Yeah.
Not to say I'm like good or anything, you know, but
Money on the ground doesn't pay the bills.